Alright, here we go with my look at GI Joe Renegades Airtight. So first things first, let's just talk about the character bio here. I'm going to flip the package around here and just kind of go through that real quick. It says here, code name is Kurt Airtight. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce the last name here, but it sounds like or looks like Schnur, whatever. So I'm just going to refer to him as Airtight. Anyways, it says he's a hostile environment specialist. His name is Kurt, blah, blah, blah. Grade, not available. Birthplace, New Haven, Connecticut. Primary weapon is HECR, and that stands for Hazardous Environment Containment Rifle. And combat gear is rifle hose, purification backpack, oxygen tank, hazmat helmet, oxygen hose, shotgun, and containment unit. And it says here, Dr. Airtight is a scientist working for Cobra Industries. Airtight became a biochemist to fight diseases in developing countries, and he believed Cobra personnel when they assured him they would support his goal. But he discovers that Cobra has darker plans for his research, and that even his job partner, or his lab partner, Dr. Monev, is not what he pretends to be. So that's the little bio there for him. And just real quickly, there's the artwork on the front of the package, which we already kind of saw. Just kind of take a look at that up close. That is in the style of the GI Joe Renegades cartoon series style of artwork or whatever. So it's very much more cartoon looking compared to, you know, your typical GI Joe figures or some of the series that we've seen in the past, I guess. But I like it. It pretty much looks like Airtight. It has all the traits and features of the old 80s version of him. So it's kind of a different look, something I kind of like. But enough of that. So let's kind of grab him here and talk about him now up close. And let's just zoom in here. And as you can see, it pretty much looks like what Airtight should look like, just more modern, more up to date. Like I said, it's got all the features. The toy's pretty show accurate to what, you know, they're showing there on the package / the cartoon series. And let's just kind of work our way on down here. I like his little vest here with all the little hoses and the little dials and indicators here. And I'm not sure how it's coming across here on the camera, but it looks a little more orange compared to what it is in real life. It's more of a yellow coloring here for his outfit. And he's got the green there and his little stand. And we'll just flip him around here, kind of look at him from the back. Oop, he's kind of leaning back there. Stand him up straight. There we go. And you can see here I got him equipped with his purification backpack there, which I believe is pretty much, again, a good reproduction, if I'm not mistaken, of the original 80s version of him. I seem to remember it looking very similar to that. And again, there is the rest of him there. So let's start talking here about his accessories. And his first accessory really is his little helmet here, which, you know, really makes him stand out as being airtight. And it is removable, so you can just pop it off like so. And I have to say, I am a little disappointed in the way they did his head here. I understand that it's a little more realistic, a little more modern, in that he has the extra layer of protection here with the little hood covering his head. But I wish they kind of left him with the with it off, so you could have had his full head revealed, where I think he had kind of like the receding hairline back on the old 80s cartoon series. So I think that would have been something that would have been a nice little touch. And you also notice here that the way it's sculpted, it doesn't look very cartoonish relative to the artwork of the Renegade series. So this guy could easily fit in with the 25th anniversary figures or the Pursuit of Cobra figures if you want. And his little vest here is removable. The little hose here can kind of pop off on the back side here. Speaking of removable, his backpack here is removable. So that's his purification backpack there, just pegs in. So the hose can kind of snap in there, and the whole thing snaps together right there. So if you want, you can pop it off of him. And let's go through the rest of his accessories here. And he does have the oxygen tank right here. Let's see if I can get that to focus on the camera. It's got a nice little sticker there with some writing on it. Let's get that to go. Come on, there we go. So pretty cool. I like the level of detail on that. and that can just peg in here. So if you want, you can display them with the oxygen tank instead of the purification backpack. But he also comes with a little hose here for his other little purification gun or whatever it is. But I don't think there's really a place to peg it in on the oxygen tank. So it really, I guess, is meant to work with the purification backpack. But anyways, you can take that off. And speaking of that, here it is right here. Looks like a little vacuum cleaner almost. And you can see it's got the little post there for the hose to connect to. And if you've seen any of my other reviews, you know I'm not a big fan of these hoses. Although this is one figure that probably I would display with the hose. And then it just pegs on the bottom end of the backpack there. And then the only real weapon he has is his pump action shotgun, which is right there like that. Let's see if I get that to focus there. There we go. So there's that. And the last little accessory is this, what they call the Containment Unit. So I guess this is where he takes his samples and stuff and stores them in there. So that's pretty much it for all his accessories and little weapons and things. I'm not really going to go into the articulation. It's pretty much your standard GI Joe level of articulation. I will point out though that the wrists here have the extra articulation in that you can bend this one here in and out like that, and his right wrist here can go up and down. He's got his little trigger finger. Pretty much both hands have the trigger fingers, so you can pretty much put his guns and accessories in either hand and they should look pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and stick his helmet on. Back to the articulation though real quick. His head's going to be a little limited because of the little hood that's covering it. You're pretty much only going to get rotation left and right. You're not going to get no up and down movement. So that's a little lacking. But other than that, everything else is pretty much standard. So let's wrap it up here with my little final thoughts on this guy. I think this is a very good figure. Very faithful to the original version of him from the 80s. You know, he's not the best figure in terms of you're not going to get a lot of accessories. He doesn't have a lot of heavy firepower. But he really shouldn't, because he's an environmentalist, or not environmentalist, environmental specialist. So it makes sense. And I always kind of liked the old version of Airtight on the old show. I'm not sure how they're really portraying him on the new Renegades series, but it sounds like he's kind of more or less the same in a way. So if you're a fan of that character, this is a good version of him. So I'd say go out and buy him based on that. And if for no other reason than just to, you know, further complete your GI Joe collection, I think it's a good figure to have, and it should be out in all the stores right now. So if you see this guy, go out and pick him up. So with that, I'll wrap it up with my look at GI Joe Renegades Airtight.